annual Memorial Day garden tour here, and we're going to start at the mailbox so you can see how everything looks. Down here's not too much cooking. We've got black-eyed Susans there and some hostas. There's a couple grasses. This right here is Joe Pye weed coming up, so there's going to be a big bunch of that. And then there's more black-eyed Susans there, and then some coneflower, and then there's an Astobie in there that I salvaged from a different spot that was going to croak, so I put it in there and it came up. So that's the first flower bed there. And then I'm coming towards the house here. These are the elderberries. The hydrangea is right down there. It's kind of coming up. I had to cut it back. Some hostas, little planter, another elderberry. So that part's looking pretty good. Take you up to these planters here. This is one of the ones Corrine made from Paul's, whatever you call it, one of her big baskets for the shade, although that spot gets more sun than it used to. And then here's one of the baskets I planted. And then here's that other one's really growing in. It's looking really good. And then up there, I got my pansy basket. So I'm coming around this way. Here's where you're walking by a lot of these azaleas. And then down in here, if you can see it, is Frothagia, however you pronounce it. And back there is the rhododendron that I bought. Has not bloomed yet, but it's got some big buds on it. Continuing on the pathway here, past the azaleas. And then the vinca down here has got some blooms on it still. Here are the azaleas. If you can see, it's kind of getting sunny in the camera, but the orange ones are starting to pop here a little bit. And then one on that side, and then all the handiwork I did underneath this tree is coming in pretty good. Coming through here at this little sitting bench. There's a couple of Jack Frost Bernera here and here. We get a nice little blue kind of bloom on them. It's kind of nice. And then we're heading through that corner here. We'll have to take a lap around here. So over here, there's some salvia, and then the little green hunks right here by my foot. Those are Veronica, and then this is a sedum down there. I can't remember the variety of that one. It's different. The dazzleberries do well. I can't remember what that one's called. That one does pretty well too. More Veronica, and then the clematis is starting to climb up the trellis here. And then of course there's all the raspberries there. Taking a quick look at the garden. You can see down here, that's about how big the marigolds are now, coming up all the way around pretty good. Right down here, the stuff coming up is gourds, those small ones for the fall, so that should be pretty good. Peas around that bean pole. I didn't plant green beans this year. Tomatoes around the back, and then 3 different kinds of lettuce, and then a second crop of one kind there, and then peas up along there. These are all peppers, and then a sunflower. And we'll go back down this way real quick. This is that Simicafuga James Compton. It's the same thing as you have. And then these are Astobies. Astobie, another James Compton Simicafuga. Hosta back there, and this right here is wild geranium. I just planted that last year, and it just started to bloom today. So that's kind of a cool look. That'll get a little spready. And then here with by the pond with the sedums. Those are called dazzleberry. Those do well. And then this is the 9-bark tree. You can see there, and then some pond plants that I keep overwintering. And the waterfall going there. And so then we'll head on over up to the back garden along the raspberries and take a look at some of the containers here. So this is the rock and blue suede shoes, salvia. And I can't remember what else I put in. That's the spiller in there. I can't think of it. This is my pillar birch tree that doesn't want to bud out. If it's budded out, it doesn't want to leaf out. Anyway, some sedum back there, and some little blue stem. And then I got a lot of, back in here is a lot of coneflower. And then there's some, there's a switchgrass on the way back, that's just starting. And then a couple of liatris. And then there's two of the agastache right there, which is one of my favorites. These right here are prairie purple coneflower. So they're a little bit thinner and they start blooming earlier in the year. This one is too. And then here's more coneflower. More coneflower. And then this right here is false sunflower. Heliopsis, I think it's called. And then there's a Russian sage there. And then over here is mostly milkweed. There's some monarda in here, and then there's a tick seed back there, so that comes up in the fall. A couple of vines coming out there, and then it's all my black-eyed Susan right there, and then a sedum that'll probably croak. That's where the rhubarb was. And then there's liatris along either side of the path, and then black-eyed Susan in the front, and then that's all milkweed along the back there. And then another tick seed there, and then right here is salvias. I just moved the big one right there, and then the currant bush isn't looking too hot this year. Some more coneflower there, and then right here in the back is another one of the agastache, Russian sage right back over there. Another pale purple coneflower, prairie purple right there. Liatris here, another one of these coneflower there. I'll send you a picture once they bloom. This is more black-eyed Susan, and then there's some it's called Joe Pye weed, and it's called Gateway. It's one that doesn't get too big. It gets like 4 feet tall. And then another agastache there, and then a penstem in there. Liatris, monarda, and another a different variety of Joe Pye weed. And then there's another false sunflower. And then all the grasses in here are little blue stem. And then mostly coneflower and some liatris coming up. This right down here is called wild geranium, but it's a smaller variety, if you can hear me still. And then some more dazzleberry sedum. So if you look back, that's kind of how the back looks right now. Over here is another one of Crean's baskets. Looking pretty good. And over by the fountain is just some hostas back there. And then here's some more of that Simica neighbors mowing their gravel. So there's the stilbies are in the middle, these big ones. The Simica fugia I just planted. More stilbies, and there's some heuchera in the front. And then this is the new updated island with some Japanese forest grasses and different kinds of coral bells. And then if I get a better angle on it, these right here are lungwort. So I got pink and then blue blooms, some foam flower right down there. There's the allium going, a couple of those. And then in the middle, in the front and behind where the birdseed falls is Cleome, turtle head. And then over here is it's called Golden Duchess hemlock. It's going to get 4 feet tall if it likes the spot, and about 4 feet wide. And then hostas along there. And then we'll go over here real quick and go around this way. Here's the zinnias, and then I got lavender and some basil, and then the window box. I don't know if you can see. We got some annuals in there, and then here's all the sun patients. Those are starting to bloom. And then on the end is the butterfly bush, which is getting real big and looks good. Here's some more planters going there. And then in the back corner, around the fountain, I just did hostas, although it's probably a little too warm for them right now. It's pretty hot back here. And then in these, I just did a Super Tunia Vista Snowdrift, and then this is a lemon meringue Super Bells. So they should fill up those pots. There's a cornflower and a sedum there. Here's some blue stem, and then there's that cat mint yarrow in the middle. Cat mint. Here's my peppers. Some more peppers, I should say. Jalapenos and Fresnos. Sedum. It's the same there as it was before. And then we kind of saw this part. So if you pan around, we'll go back this way. And we'll walk it up to the front. I don't know how good the video will come in. So here you can see where the new landing I put in looks. It looks pretty good. I actually got another butterfly bush in that other pot there. Right there. That's how that looks. And then over here is Black-Eyed Susan, and then Carl's Foster feather reed grass in the middle, and then there's Leatris right here. So like those, it's just a repeating pattern there all the way along here. So those are coming in pretty good. And then down in this area under this tree is the spiderwort right there, and then along the back, those three. And then in there's just some reeds and some other stuff I kind of clunked in there. For now, there's some more turtle head right there, Japanese forest grass, and then cardinal flower, lobelia. Actually, I think it's blue lobelia, not cardinal flower in that one. And then there's Black-Eyed Susans, hostas. That's more Joe Pye weed there. And then a couple astilbes, and then more hostas. If you come over here, and then there's actually some Black-Eyed Susans, some mini ones right here that just get soaked, and I'm surprised they even hang on. So that's all kind of in that shady garden area. And we're back to the beginning. So that's it, a quick down and dirty garden tour.